you all for coming to Ayurveda Rituals. There's no need to introduce our wonderful guest tonight. Everyone knows him. He's dear to our heart. He comes to Toronto for visiting us good friends, and we hope to give him a warm welcome. So it warms my heart, and I'm very grateful tonight to host a dear friend to all of us. So please help me welcome him back to Toronto.
Nice to be back in Toronto. I was just in Vermont for 2 weeks, so I feel on the one hand that I'm back in a place that I've been coming to for 30 years, and on the other hand that since there's always something different in every place, they say in Hindi, Naya Gilli, Naya Dao, which you'd have to kind of know what Gilli Danda is to appreciate. But the point is that when you, every time you get a new ball, you have a new game. Maybe the same game, but it's a new ball, so it's slightly different. As Vimalanandaji was always fond of putting it, it matters a lot less exactly how the universe developed as to how your personal version of the universe, your microcosm, is going to develop from the point where you happen to be. So this is what Tantra is all about. A recognition of the asymmetries that you personally possess, an understanding of those asymmetries, and B, an understanding of how you might proceed ahead so that that asymmetry is minimized in a particular context so that you can escape from the bondage of asymmetry. And then, of course, the bondage of symmetry as well. And so that really is what Tantra is all about, not being limited, finding ways to avoid being limited. And that's why so many different techniques have been developed. The technique has nothing to do, per se, with, it's not like there is any one Tantra. It's not like there is any, people have tried to say there is this and there is that, but the whole point of Tantra is not that it has, people have generated philosophies from it, but it's not like it started off with a philosophy. Its philosophy was, do stuff. Find out what happens, figure out what works, do more of it until it stops working. Once it stops working, do something else and figure out what works and proceed ahead with that until it stops working, and then do something else. So we have to walk a very careful path. But this is what Tantra is really about. Vimalananda always talked about carving out your own niche. Finding the way that you personally, your own personal path, that would take you in the direction of increasing your ability to be aware of reality and decreasing the limitations that exist normally in your own self that prevent you from perceiving reality. And while he appreciated the fact that there are many different sects and religions and other kinds of approaches that have been established and that have been followed by many people, and as a result of being followed, the path or the trail has been very clearly marked and delineated, and because so many people are walking on it, the path is doesn't have to be mowed, everything is, so there's nice clear paths. But of course, by virtue of there being a clear path, that means that itself becomes a kind of a limitation, because it is already delineated. The path itself may be symmetrical, but it is creating an asymmetry in whatever the environment is around it. So you have to have a certain kind of path to the degree that you have various pathways in your own organism, because all these pathways have to continue to flow. They are all limitations, they are all asymmetries, but unless they are properly aligned, you won't be able to go any further than that, because you will either be creating some sort of mayhem in your physical body, or you will be causing yourself to go insane, or become a maniac of some other kind, or because your prana will get all knotted up and then you won't be able to circulate it. This is why he said, in his opinion, better than that he did not believe in sampradaya, which means a sect or a religion. He believed in sampradaha, which means just to incinerate everything that was a limitation of yours. So incinerating things, he was a fire worshiper, I'm a fire worshiper. Incinerating things is a good way to go about things, provided that you don't incinerate everything. You have to know just how much to incinerate.